Welcome, welcome. Another stream. Back again. Painting and gouache today. Got my sketches ready. Let's go, fire stream. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Hi, Jordan. Loved your drawing. Hey, what's up? And thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get started. I want to switch things up. Use a yellow base layer today. Thanks for having us. Nah, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hi from Texas. Oh, oops. That line work though, thank you. I love so much your job. How do you sell your work? Yeah, as long as it's not in a sketchbook, I'll sell it. Any like loose paintings, send a DM. But I like to keep my sketchbooks intact though. Hi from DC, love your work. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I always like visiting DC. It's a nice town. Is that your preferred medium? Yes. Yeah, it's one of them. Between this watercolor and acrylic gouache are my favorites. Good evening from Sweden. 1 p.m. Love your work. Yeah, it's 7 here. And thank you, thank you. I'm chiming in from Minnesota just in time. Nice. Do you have 2 cameras set up? Yeah, I have 3 cameras. I have this camera, this palette camera, and then the main camera here. And I'm also recording on my phone for Instagram, which is this. But it's 1 camera, 2 webcams in the phone. Gouache is my favorite medium to use. It's cool to watch other artists use it so differently. Yeah, that's the cool thing about art. If you give 100 artists the same materials, everybody's gonna come up with something different and have a different way to use it. I've been wanting to do gouache for the longest. Yeah, gouache is fun. It's a learning curve, but it's fun to use once you get the hang of it. Hi from India. Love your work. Thank you, thank you. Aquatex gouache, have you used it? What paper brand would you suggest for beginners? No, I've never used Aquatex gouache. As far as paper, I tend to, for gouache, I like a smooth paper and I like a tone paper. So the paper I'm using is Strathmore Mixed Media Tan. Strathmore Tan Mixed Media. Have you been following for years? I'm dumb. It's 2 a.m. here in Sweden, but one question: do you ever paint multiple portraits in one? Yeah, I used to have big sheets where I would have a bunch. This is gonna be 2 portraits on, but it's not in one. It's split in the same page. It's the same model. I like the silhouette. But yeah, I've done multiple portraits in one. Have you ever worked with hard or soft pastels? Maybe just to add a little bit of color, but never a full piece. Gouache is my favorite medium to use. This might be my weekly time for the stream, Tuesdays at 7. Might try to make it a schedule, so I'm not just popping up once every couple of months. Yo, how's it going? right. Quick value study. I usually use like cool undertones, but today I'm switching it up, using some yellow and orange. How do you have multiple cameras for your stream? I'm streaming on desktop. So if you stream on desktop, there's apps, live streaming apps you can use, where you can have multiple camera inputs. So I'm recording with this main camera, this webcam, and then this is a webcam. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Tuesday, new week already. Tuesday, about to be halfway through the week. Feel like it just started. How much water do you recommend to have a perfect texture? It really depends on what effect you're trying to achieve. I start off with a lot of water to have it dilute, and then I build up from there. So the more layers that I put down, the less water I use, and the more opaque the wash is. As far as if you want it to be really opaque, then you're looking more for a texture that's like kind of like yogurt. That gives you a more opaque wash. I'm using it more watered down, almost like watercolor right now. Thanks. How do you choose an undertone? I have my go-tos like blues and greens because they're cool complements to what you would typically think of as skin tones. But then I like switch it up. Like today, I'm just using the orange. I just want to try something different. Or I'll pick a skin tone, or I'll pick it based on a dominant color in a reference, or if I think I can use it like strategically in the painting. It's not really one set way that I use to pick an undertone. Hi from the Philippines, hey, what's up? And the undertone, like, it's so dilute that it can have as much influence as you want it to have on the painting. Because since I use it dilute, then I can always just cover it up if I don't like it, or I can leave it in if I do. Any tips on working with acrylic? I've never worked with just regular acrylic. I use acrylic gouache, which is kind of similar, but I use it the same way I do regular gouache. What brush am I using? This is a 1-inch angle shader brush, so it's just a flat brush that comes to a point. It's a Princeton Heritage. All right, I'm gonna give that some time to dry. Do you still color with markers? Yeah, I do. Not as often as I used to, but I do every now and then when I want to switch things up. Tips for working with acrylic. I would say, no cap, y'all, I'm struggling with major burnout. Anyone got any advice? Whenever I'm struggling with burnout, I like to either try something new, switch up mediums or subject matter. Go paint outside, go to life drawing class. What's the best paper you've used that's justifiably priced? I mean, my go-to paper is this tan mixed media. It's not too bad price wise, but for when it comes to painting with gouache, you have more flexibility with the type of paper you can use. Watercolor is really sensitive to the quality of your paper, but gouache, I'd say, as long as you have like a nice mixed media paper, you should be fine. A lot of it, as always, comes down to personal preference. But yeah, I like the Strathmore mixed media. Hey, from Texas, watching you paint is always so relaxing. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. It's crazy. I haven't been to Texas yet. Do you think you're still learning or not anymore? It depends. Depends what it is. Sometimes I feel I like go through phases, like where I feel like I'm just plateauing, and then if I switch things up and feel like I learned something new. One thing, I want to get better at a couple things, like mainly probably more scenes, like drawing scenes rather than just solo like portraits, or like coming up with more original ideas. You always use blues for shadows? Not always. It really depends on the reference. I don't really have a lot of always like set rules that I go by. One thing I always do is just start with some type of base color. Hey, from Rhode Island, my wife and love your work. Do you sell prints? Notice your art shop is mainly originals. Yeah, it's originals for now, but prints are definitely on the list to do. And I'm in what part of Rhode Island? I'm in Pawtucket. We see her curls popping. Thank you. Yeah, I washed my hair yesterday. The day after is usually a little better. Woonsocket, okay. Now I rode my bike up to Woonsocket once from Pawtucket. It was using the Blackstone bike path. It's nice, right? Art rules, advice you love to break. Art rules and advice that I love to break. What's it? What's an art rule? I think of art rules as art suggestions to be followed at will or not. It's not like a science or whatever. Like, you can really do what you want with art, and somebody may or may not like it. Yeah, it's a great bike path. Yeah, it was. The weather's nice. I'm gonna definitely be on it a lot in the upcoming weeks. Is the direction of your brushstrokes influenced by the form you're trying to achieve with the portrait? Yeah, that's part of it. I try to sometimes. I don't say. I try to pick the stroke that is most efficient in terms of covers the area and gives me the shape that I want at the moment. A lot of the times, if I pick the right shape, sometimes that shape might stay until the end of the painting, and I might not even have to touch it again. But yeah, sometimes I like to pick a shape that goes with the. I'm trying to think of the form, like the direction of the curves of how everything's curving around. I try to keep that in mind. I try to pick directions that only have to make one stroke to cover the area that I want to cover. Or not necessarily one stroke, but just minimal strokes. Hi, what kind of gouache are you using? I'm using a mixture of my Mary gouache, Turner gouache, and M. Graham gouache. Yep. How are you guys doing? How's your week going so far? Tuesday already in the books. Are you a full-time artist? If so, what advice would you give to an artist wanting to go full-time? I have a part-time remote job that I do to supplement, because it's the way it's inconsistent. Like last month I had a lot of projects. It's like a lot. It's not like an even pace. It's like a lot at once or not. Advice though, it's hard to give. It depends what you want to do. Most importantly, if you're trying to get client work and illustrators, people need to be able to find you, whether that's through social media, website, email list, in person, a portfolio. But people just need to be able to know what you do. They need to be able to see what you do, ideally easily. What do you think is easier, the tube gouache or palette? This is tube gouache. I just squeeze it out into a palette. These are all from the tube. I just put them inside this palette so that I have them readily available. Because I don't like to carry tubes with me. I like to have all the any color I want, just already out, ready to go. Love from Detroit. Have you ever tried any ink mediums? Yeah, I've been getting into. I like ballpoint pen. I like fine liners, and I like. I'm starting to get into like dip pens. Those are actually kind of really fun to use. Have you tried Winsor & Newton or Holbein? If so, how do they compare to what you're using? I've tried Winsor & Newton. I haven't tried Holbein gouache. I've tried Holbein acrylic gouache. Winsor & Newton's probably the easiest gouache to find if you're just looking, and it's good quality. So that's probably a good starting place. I guess it depends where you live, but at least in the U.S., it's pretty easy to find. How's it compared to what I'm using? Yeah, I'd say they're pretty similar. Out of all the gouaches, I like M. Graham isn't the most opaque gouache, but it re-wets the nicest. They make it with honey, so when you if it dries and you put more water, it like reactivates back to a nice buttery texture, better than most other brands. The My Mary, once it dries, it gets pretty like what's the word? Like cakey, I guess. And it takes a bit to revive it, but it's still doable. You just gotta break up the chunks, and like when the paint dries, I just break up the chunks with like a toothpick and can get it back to almost the same consistency. It's never quite the same as right out of the tube, but you can revive it to make it usable. Similar with Winsor & Newton, at least from my experience with it. But yeah, they're all pretty good. I'm late. When did you begin your portraits? Do you use the Loomis method? That was my main question. I learned using the Loomis method, but I don't really follow it that strictly these days. I start by just blocking in the general silhouette and then slowly narrowing down the proportions from general to specific. It's kind of what I do these days. I keep the Loomis proportions in mind, but I don't draw like the ball and, cut the sides of the ball off. But I did a lot of that when I was learning though. But so it's definitely a good method to learn with. I just don't use it that much anymore. What brushes am I using? This is a 1/2-inch angle shader from Princeton. What brush is it? It's a Princeton Velvet Touch 1/2-inch angle shader. What was your intended career path when you working on your master's in chemistry? I don't know. That's a good question. I figured I'd just get out, get a job, work in a lab or something. I knew I didn't want to teach though. I've never been a good planner type of. That's one of the things I have to work on. Better at like planning stuff. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I use Winsor & Newton and Holbein, but I was just curious about My Mary and Turner. Yes, like the My Mary is cool because it's a lot of colors. I think I haven't used a lot of for Winsor & Newton gouache. I had that starter pack when it's like the 5-color starter pack, and then I used their white a lot before. What made me stop when I found out about the M. Graham titanium white, I liked the texture that I had a little bit better because it was like a softer. It was a softer, more smooth white it was a little less opaque than Winsor & Newton, but it dried to a nice matte finish, whereas I found that the Winsor & Newton has like this weird almost sheen to it. That I didn't really like that much. For Turner, I only have a few colors from Turner. It's Naples yellow that I like because it's a nice opaque yellow that I can use to add some opacity to some mixtures without having to use white. Hi friend, hey, what's up? What's going on? How's it going? As usual, my paintings always jump straight to an ugly stage. But I like trying to carve out shapes from it. See how I can pull it together. Bro, we kind of look alike. I see you got a fro. I trimmed my fro down a little bit. Do you like Shihan gouache? I haven't tried it. I recently started using Shihan gouache, and it's really good and a lot cheaper than many others. Is that that's the gouache that's like, is it like a hybrid between watercolor and gouache? Which is, I think I've seen somebody on YouTube using that. I haven't tried it though. Great friend, I'm from Brazil. Your artwork is amazing. Thank you. Magnifique. Wow. Thank you. One thing when you're building up your paint, I like to reinforce my lines every once in a while so I don't lose track of my initial drawing when I'm building up the layers. With more and more opaque paint. I might put in a white background soon. We'll see. There is one, but they have traditional too, referring to Shihan. How do you say it? Shihan gouache. Nice. Admittedly, I don't really experiment too much with a whole bunch of different gouaches. I have stuff that either that's what my local store has or that's got sent to me, so I'll just use it. I don't really experiment that much. Following along your color study, but using paint pens, drawing my dog. Nice. What kind of dog do you have? Do you mix regular gouache and acrylic gouache in the painting? I usually don't mix them in the painting, but I might do regular, like for these, the paintings I did, where are they? Like for these, the regular painting was gouache, but the white background was acrylic gouache. And the reason I did that is because the acrylic gouache isn't going to smear to the next page, whereas regular gouache can sometimes. A healer mutt? I don't know what a healer mutt is. Ugly stages are a must. You just have to get used to it, knowing that it'll be all right in the end. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, at this point, I pretty much know that. I know at what point where I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to salvage this. But a lot of it starts to click together once I start covering up more and more of that base layer. Depending on the type of base layer you use, it might blend in a little bit easier than others, but I like a base layer where makes it obvious that I haven't painted over that area yet. So that's one of the criteria that I sometimes use when picking base layers. Like this yellow I used was really strong, so it's really obvious that where it hasn't been covered yet. That was too dark. I need a lot more cool blues. This is nice to switch up because usually when I start with blue, it makes it easy to have a bunch of cool colors by default. But now I have to kind of more intentionally put them in. Do you have any other hobbies like cooking, reading, or anything else? I've never been able to. I was gonna say I've never been able to read. If I can clearly read, if I read your comment, I've never been able to I never like reading that much. If I do read, I end up falling asleep like within 5 minutes or so. Which I have no idea how I made it through grad school reading all those papers. Hobbies. I like. I haven't played basketball in a while, but that used to be my main thing, basketball. Now I have this little mini hoop though, so that's my. Hobbies. What else do I like dodgeball. There's this dodgeball league locally. I haven't did it since last year, but that was actually really fun. Beautiful job, thank you. Never been able to read is crazy. Yeah, it's always boring. I'll try to read it and then I'll get bored and then start drawing instead. What are book recommendations for people that don't like to read? I do actually like audiobooks though. I do like audiobooks. I can, because I don't have to. I can just put it on and have it in the background, and then draw or do something else. I don't know if it's the same effect as reading normally, but. Man, your skills are on fire. Thank you. Thank you. I might put in the white background soon to help me judge these colors a little bit better. When I force myself to read, I feel like it helped me imagine stuff better, but I still don't like reading. Yeah, I feel like, cause one thing I have trouble coming up with original ideas to make art. Like I focus on the technique and stuff, but I don't. Sometimes I struggle with coming up with ideas, but I feel like reading probably helps you because you're visualizing stuff in your mind. But it's probably cool to be able to visualize it in your mind and also have the skills to execute. And I forced myself to read. It helped me. I always liked, like in high school and stuff, I never really liked, I always liked science class or math, physics, that kind of stuff, more than like history and English and stuff. Cause that stuff always felt like problem solving, and reading was just like, I don't know. Get some white in the background. I'm impressed with your restraint. I would rush to cover the underpainting. Yeah, I'm take them. I build. I like bringing the whole thing up at once, like jumping around, building, because it lets me. When I jump around, it lets me see what the gouache actually looks like when it dries. And I can judge if the color I put down, if I like it or not. So that once I've found the color that I like, then I could commit to finishing to paint over the underpaint. Sometimes I like how the underpainting fits in the context of the portrait, so I'll leave it. But yeah, the early stages for me are just all about putting stuff down, jumping around, carving out shapes, and seeing how everything goes together. And then with the next layers, I can refine and adjust the colors accordingly, stuff like that. Being an artist must be so much better after inventing audio. Yeah, I know. It's definitely audiobooks and like any kind of long form content and stuff. Long form, either podcasts or YouTube videos or stuff like that is the best when I'm painting. Anything that's like too short and it's constantly switching can be a bit distracting, because it draws my attention to it. Like earlier, I was just listening to like I was watching a YouTube video about World War I. I never knew really about World War I, like what it was about and what's caused it and stuff. So I just was like, I was bad at history class. All my energy went to calculus and physics and stuff. The shadow under her neck goes all the way to the end of her chin. You're missing that. All props, just being constructive. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, I'll probably get to it. But I mean, I'm focused on background right now so that all the colors on the face will be in context. But yeah, the first layer is just putting stuff down, and the next layers will be refining the shapes. But thanks for the constructive, what's the word? Criticism or feedback Thanks for the feedback. It's early in the process. The shadow under her neck. Oh, I read that. I feel like you could learn the psychology of a person by analyzing their creative painting process. Yeah, I think so. I think everybody paints, whether you want to or not. Your personality automatically is infused in what you're doing. Even if you're like doing a copy of master study of somebody else, like the way you specifically put strokes down always is going to come through, because only you has your particular hand and eyes, way of seeing the world. So art is a really it's like handwriting. Everybody has their own handwriting, unique type of handwriting. I think when I get rid of the yellow eyes, it'll look better. Personal looks fire. Maybe it's coming together. We'll see how it comes together. I'm not at the point yet where I cross the threshold that I like it yet. But it's early. It's a very personal thing. Yep, exactly. I know your work by sight. It's your line work. Yeah, the drawing plays a big role in any kind of pretty much any medium that I use. I have like the same drawing style, so that it makes it feel a bit more cohesive. I feel like it's kind of cool seeing like everybody's unique sort of hand. Where do you find sketch subjects to paint? This is from Pinterest. Just a random photo I found on Pinterest. I think it's a jewelry company. Like they're selling like necklaces and earrings and stuff. But I like these photos, so I just grabbed them and paint them. Your work is beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. As far as if you want royalty-free images, say you were like trying to, like whenever I do like a class or something where it's like I'm getting paid for it, I'll use royalty-free images. And there's it's a website called Pexels and another website called Unsplash, where you can find royalty-free images. This is your painting, your interpretation. So forget everyone else's criticism. What do their paintings look like? Oh no, I didn't take it as offense. at all. Because sometimes having a different perspective, you might see something that I'm not seeing. Because I'm painting kind of off to the side at an angle, so that my face, so, like the camera's right here, and if I'm like right on top of the camera, then my hair was kind of like block it. So I'm like off to the side, so it might throw off my my perspective a little bit. So I'm definitely not if something is what's the word? Yeah, if I didn't want to, I would just turn off the I would turn off the reference image if I didn't want people to see, like to be able to compare to the original. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. But thank you. Where do you find your subjects to paint? Great work. Thank you. You said you didn't want to be a teacher, and yet you do. Yeah. Yeah. At least not. I didn't want to teach chemistry. Teaching art I guess, is cool. It helps reinforce the concepts in your head, or at least it helps me try to think about what I'm actually doing. Like people asking questions, it forces me to like try to think about what I'm doing rather than just paint by instinct. I mean, I am painting by instinct, but then I try to think about like, wait, why did I specifically do that? I love both those sites. High quality images. Do you exhibit your work? I put like, I haven't had like a what's the word? A solo show or anything like that. I put like every once in a while, just put one or two pieces in like a little show. But would you sacrifice likeness for a more interesting portrait, or if so, do you decide beforehand? I feel like I sacrifice likeness all the time. Unless it's only time I'm beholden to likeness is if it's a commission for somebody, because they obviously are paying to look like themselves. But something like this, yeah, I don't care how. I try to get it where it kind of resembles them at least a little bit, but I'm not too worried about having a perfect likeness. It's more about just having fun with the paint. I could take more time and get a perfect likeness, but it's not necessary. If people don't see the reference photo, then they don't know. And you can just wave it off and say it's your style. Facts. I didn't know how much head and eye perspective matters. All my drawings used to come out a little slanted to the right because I draw with my head tilted. Cause my head to be tough. Yeah, one another thing that helps is having like I'm working at a board that's like at an angle. So that can kind of help. It's just having a camera right in front of you. It's only limited options where you could place your head without blocking the camera. Growing up, I had that mindset that art teachers. Growing up, had the mindset that art teachers were average artists. It depends. It could be. Yeah, I don't know. It could be average artists in any field. Like no matter what, it's kind of just up to what you do personally. I wouldn't say I'm a full-time teacher though. I kind of just do monthly workshops here and there. Teaching is a quick way to get some money though. As an artist, like most of the time, like that's a service that's pretty reliable, where people kind of always want to learn. People might not always want to buy like a random painting, but it's usually a bigger audience of people wanting to learn stuff. I love that perspective. People get too hung up on likeness. No, it makes sense. It all depends on what your particular goal is. In this case, my goal is just to chill, paint with you guys, answer some questions. It's just in a sketchbook, so it's just for fun. But like in a different context, then likeness is more important. If I was getting paid for this, then yeah, I would try to get the likeness a little more. But then, I mean, it can also help having your own way of doing things can also help your work to stand out too. So it's really a trade-off. Which you're kind of everything's. This is your interpret. It's very cool. I try to emulate your lines, but you're way more advanced than I ever be. No, I don't think so. I'm way more advanced at being me, and you're gonna be way more advanced than anybody else at being you. If that makes sense. Like everybody is advanced at being themselves. Ideally. You can definitely learn from other people. But even if you're learning from other people, no matter what, your personal way of doing things is going to come through. I mean, that's just how it works. And over time, you'll start to like. In the beginning, it's hard to. It's easy to feel like everybody else is doing something right and you're not, but over time you'll start to hit a stride where it's like, oh, I actually like what I'm doing. I actually can trust my decisions, and I really like what my stuff is looking like right now. And that lasts for like a day or two, and it's back to it's all part of the journey. Hi, so I'm not the only one doing the head tilt and screwing my perspective. Yeah, that's why it's important to always occasionally step back, see, make sure everything's in check. Starting off with a pencil drawing can help, just because you have everything locked in. You can go from it's really lucrative for him. My buddy makes way more money doing painting workshops than he does from selling art. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like most companies that are successful are providing like a service, and teaching is like a repeatable service where most people don't just take one class and never have to take another class again. It's like it's the easy way, not easy, but you get recurring. It's a bit more, well, that's not even true. It really just, like everything, it just kind of depends. But it definitely can be really lucrative, especially these days with online classes. You don't even have to be in the location where you're teaching. You just record the class and put it out there. So I'm not only Definitely not the only one. By teaching, you tend to add layers to your own artwork. Do you teach in schools or just at home? I thought of being a teacher, but I'm terrified of student loans. I could see myself learning art and teaching what I loved. Now I'm not like employed as a teacher. I've recently started doing like in-person watercolor workshops. I done a couple online courses, but I'm not like teaching in a school or anything. Kind of like just doing different gigs. I don't have a set one thing that I do at the moment. Similar to Boondocks illustrations. I think I missed the beginning comments. You're a great artist. Thank you. Thank you. I love all the colors you use to get all the shades and tints and build them layer by layer to create the perfect values. Thank you. Yeah, it keeps it interesting for me because it's like a puzzle, like just seeing how things can work together and putting stuff down. That when I first put it down, it might not make sense, but when I start putting other stuff around it, then it clicks together, and it's like that's always a really satisfying moment. Like this blue color here on the back of the neck, you can very faintly see it in the reference. It's super faint, but and before I put this stroke down here, like once I put like this dark stroke around it, then it starts to read more as like reflected light. I don't know, just building things up in layers to me is like putting together like a puzzle, and it's my favorite part about painting. I think that chin is too. I signed up for an oil painting competition at the end of this month, and I've never painted in oil before. So I gotta buy some oil and practice. Originally, originally it didn't specify that you had to use oil, and they said acrylic is okay, but oil's preferred. So I was gonna maybe just do acrylic gouache, which is technically acrylic. But I don't think you can become a master at oil painting in 3 weeks. What's up? Hey, how's it going? Is anyone else in your family artistic, creative? Yeah, my younger sister, she likes art. She went into industrial design. And my other brother is a chef, so that's artistic. How is that going? How's what going? I think I might have missed your. How long have you been painting with gouache? Since 2018, I want to say. So that's, I can't math right now. What's that? 2018. 7 years? No pressure oils painting. Looks good. Thank you. Honestly, just slowing down my process, stepping back and looking at your drawing throughout. Oh, the oil painting. I haven't bought the oil paint yet. Oh, by the way, can you show your recent work with the cormorant wings? Yeah, it's this one. So this is bigger than I usually paint. I usually don't paint this big. This is 18 by 24. And it's on like this aqua board. Like for context, like the painting I'm doing right now, this is how big it is next to it. So it's like, it's a lot smaller than I usually work, but it was fun. It was cool because I could get more details and stuff. But yeah, it's not gonna fit on camera. But yeah, the chains and stuff were cool. A lot of the lighting was from imagination, like not a direct reference. But it was a good exercise. It took forever though. I've been working on it on and off since like I think I first started it back in like February, and I was just working on and off. You could also keep a mirror near you while you draw and flip your drawing. Yeah, I do. I hadn't done it. Yeah, I keep a mirror. It's like flipping it, and like if you work digitally, you can like flip it with Photoshop. Any specific reason you chose acrylic gouache over traditional? For that one, since I was working at Big, why did I choose acrylic gouache? I thought it would be easier to layer because I was planning on just doing more of a layer approach versus like a blended approach since I was working on that aqua board. If you haven't used that aqua board before, it's not quite the same texture as paper. It's a nice texture, but it doesn't absorb like quite the same way as paper does. So I figured I would have a better time just layering rather than trying to blend. So I opted to go with the acrylic gouache. I feel like something like that big, regular acrylic probably would have been better, or oil or something like that. But it was a nice challenge and learning experience. But I want to do more of that. The mirror helps a lot, yeah, for sure. I can't math 7 years, you're right. Yeah, it is 7. 2018 minus 25 is 7. I think I said 8. Establishing light source is tricky to execute. Never thought of using a mirror. I have to invest in one, believe it or not. You don't have any hand mirrors? You can get one from Walmart for like $5. I'm pretty sure that's where I got mine. Definitely recommend though. It's useful to have, especially in the drawing like when you're drawing and establishing all your proportions and stuff. You could do that. You can flip it upside down. Just anything that like gives your eye a chance to reset and see it from a new perspective really helps you. It helps mistakes jump out immediately. If you're looking at the same thing in the same way, it's sometimes obvious mistakes won't really jump out at you, but no. Is it preferred for larger scales? I've done a larger scale gouache before. I've done a regular gouache at that size. Like this. Yeah, this painting here. This is the same size. This is the same size as the one I just showed, 18 by 24. And it's regular gouache too. This one's regular gouache. So it's I remember when I was working on it, it was trying to layer stuff. Like in the case like here, when I was trying to layer it, the gouache redisturbed like way easier. So it was harder to layer when trying to work with with regular gouache on this particular surface. So I ended up for this one. That's why I went with acrylic gouache this time around, because it made it a little bit easier to layer. If it was regular paper, then since some of the gouache it's easier for the gouache to absorb in it if it's regular paper, versus that aqua board. The gouache kind of just like sits on top of it, so it makes it real easy to redisturb it. Any tips for choosing colors for your skin tones? My colors always end up looking muddy. Yeah, this might quite, like, if you look at my palette, my palette is literally basically just mud. But I think the reason it doesn't look muddy on the paper is because the brush strokes are like, it's intentional brush strokes. Like, I'll just go intentional brush stroke rather than digging into it. And by having an intentional brush stroke, it makes whatever color I put down go down flat. So it's just one solid field of color rather than can you make a shot from sitting down where you at right now? Let's see if you're a true hooper. All right, I gotta warm up. I need like 2 warm-up shots to get the feel of it. We'll see. I gotta find my ball first, though. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where my ball is at. I don't think I'll be able to shoot. Oh, I found it. All right, I get 2 warm-up shots. See if I can make it. All right, that's one. I was close though. All right, if I don't make this one, I gotta do like. Oh, that's all. All right, last one. I got it. Two warm-up shots back. Nah, I gotta make one. Nah, I'm painting. I'll try again later. It always takes a couple warm-ups before I get the feel of it, because that tiny little ball. I can always edit myself to look better on my stories though. Most of my gouache attempts have been 5x7, so I was curious. Yeah, I usually work small. Like, I'm working on this is a letter size, so it's 8.5 by 11. Gouache it's a little bit better for smaller scales. Like you can do larger scale stuff with gouache, but it's just a little easier because of the like. I mean, the gouache tubes aren't that big, so like if you're working like really, really big, you'll go through a lot of tubes. Although a little bit of gouache does go a long way, but it's just a little easier to with smaller scale works, since like it's a lot of things you have to consider, like the color shift and stuff like that. Make sure my phone's still recording so I have an Instagram post. Just a little rusty right now, sorry. That's what you Rupert. It's always funny. It takes like a couple minutes of shots, and then I find the stroke, and then I'm good to go. If it was a regular size basketball, I feel like I'd be fine. But the tiny one, it really, all your shot mechanics is a little bit different. But I gotta play basketball more regularly. I haven't really been playing since I moved up to Rhode Island. That used to be my main source of exercise. Where were you before? I was in Nashville before I moved up to where do I live right now? Rhode Island. And before that, New Jersey. I'm from Jersey originally. I love your work so much. First time watching you live. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, it's a lot slower than the 30-second time lapse. I have some Shinhan gouache arriving tomorrow. I'll have to pause my current fixation on watercolor cityscapes. For me, when I had my gouache, I got my gouache as like, when I first started using gouache, I got it as like a Christmas present. And it took me until like the following summer or spring to finally actually bring it out and use it. Because I was just afraid to use it for some reason. Or maybe I was just so used to what I was doing. Oh, nice. Staying close to home then? Yeah, I like the East Coast. The East Coast feels like home. I like the South, but it was something about up here feels more like home. I just read you've got a PhD in chemistry. What inspired you to start making art and shift away from that? Yeah, I was just making art on my free time during my program. I mean, I always drew pretty much since I was a kid, but never like intentionally, or it was always just like drawing in the margins of papers and stuff like that. I got back into it a lot more regularly and actually trying to intentionally learn when I was in grad school. What got me into it? Well, towards the end of my program, I realized that I didn't like what I was doing. And I got, it was I was posting online, and it kind of, people kind of liked it, so it grew a bit of a audience, so that really helped to be able to at least generate some income from it. Then I graduated during COVID. Everything shut down, so I started taking commissions and doing online classes and stuff. So it's kind of something I stumbled into, to be honest. Your brushstrokes seem to mimic the skull structure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely practice painting and drawing skulls a lot, so that's in the back of my mind for sure. But yeah, a lot of it is trying to kind of follow the plane, like the direction of the planes of the face that I'm seeing. That's part of it, and another part of it is the most efficient stroke shape, brush stroke to get the shape I want at the moment. Was the jelly gouache or the tubes you got for Christmas? I was hyper fixated on gouache. I bought the $5 ones from Five Below. One thing I would say about gouache is you'll definitely you'll have a better time if you at least get artist grade gouache, which could be a little bit expensive, but a little bit goes a long way, and it's definitely better than buying like a 60 pack of like student grade poor quality gouache. You'll have a more fun time. That being said, I think I had the Winsor & Newton 5-pack, where it's like the 5 primary. It was the primary colors plus black and white, and I think green was in there too. It was a red, blue, green, yellow, and then black and white. Was that 5 colors? I think that was 6 colors. I just said. I can't do math and I can't count today. What inspired you to make the shift to art, making art and shift away from it? Oh yeah, I was saying like I didn't. Towards the end of grad school, I realized like I think I was just tired, maybe burnt out of what I was doing at the moment, and I just like never really went back to it. I realized while I was studying animation that I hated animation. Yeah, it's hard. It's tough because it's like, how else will you know? Like, you have to experience it firsthand to know that you don't like it or that you do like it. I did like I like learning about chemistry, and I found it fascinating. I just, after a while, doing research and it's a different thing. Maybe I just didn't like, or maybe I was just tired of working in a research lab. I don't know. And industry might be slightly different than grad school, but I just haven't tried to go back to it. And I'm holding off as long as I can. If AI takes all the art jobs, then I have a chemistry degree. That is terrible coming from Mr. Calculus. I mean, calculus was high school, and high school for me was a long time ago. if you don't use it, you lose it. Well, I mean, I guess I did take calc in undergrad, but even still, undergrad was a long time ago too. I'm old. I'm not old, but I'm probably older than you might think I am. Your brush seems to mimic the skull structure. Love your artwork. Keep up the good work. Thank you. You should try calisthenics for staying in shape, bro. If hoop is too discouraging. I do push-ups. I have like the power tower, so I do push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and like some type of ab workout. And I gotta be more consistent. I did them today. I'm proud I did my calisthenics today, but I gotta be more consistent. But yeah, that's my main. Besides that, and jogging, like running outside, those are my forms of exercise that I do these days. You kidding, brother? You watch anime? Yeah, I like anime. I want to eat your art. Yeah, you probably wouldn't like it. I don't think this paint tastes good. Mid-30s. Hey, at least you're staying. Yeah, I'm 33. I'm 33. I always gotta remember my age. So mid-30s. Ugh. I want to eat your art. You definitely don't want to eat it. Took you a minute. How long does the average painting take you to complete? It really depends on what it is. Something like this will, if it's just a study, it'll probably be like 2 hours. Hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the complexity. If it's anything original where it's like not just looking at a photo and painting from it, it automatically takes way more time. Yeah, right. So old. It's not old, but on social media it's old. If you're not like 23-year-old millionaire. Nah, I actually don't care about that stuff. Hey, getting older is the goal. Just glad to still be here. Right? I just turned 40. He's a baby. That's funny. Hey, you look mid-20s. You look mid-20s for sure. You're doing something right. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I tend to get. That's what people kind of say that a lot. They're kind of surprised by it. I think it's probably the hair, because the hair is not like neat. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't like smoke or drink or anything like that, so maybe that helps. I do gotta drink more water though. I struggle with painting gouache. Any advice? It's the Peter Pan in us. Yeah. Same thing. People get a bit shocked when I say I'm 40. Yeah, I'll take it. I would rather that than people be like, "Wait, you're only 30?" You know, I would rather. You know. You skipped one question? Oh, what was the question? The Instagram chat. If it scrolls down, sometimes I might miss it. Which brand of gouache do you use? What brand or brands of gouache do you use? Which are your favorites? So I got. Yeah, I'm using my Mary, Turner, and then M. Graham. My favorite, out of all of them, I like the consistency of M. Graham, probably the best. It has a nice consistency. It's not the most opaque, but it has a really nice consistency. Yeah, Miss Cecily wanted advice on what to do first as she is struggling painting with gouache. What to do first? Well, what helped me was when I started using base underpaintings, specifically underpaintings that wasn't of a color that wasn't directly obvious in the reference. And the reason that helped is because it helped me learn how thick I needed to mix the paint if I wanted to cover up that base layer. So like if I'm using a blue, for instance, as the base layer, and if I don't cover the blue up, then it shows up. It's obvious in it. Like even here, the base layer, like a lot of those yellow spots are still showing through. That lets me know that I haven't covered it yet. So when I was learning, it was show me how thick I needed to mix the paint to be able to completely cover up that base layer. So that's one of the reasons why I like painting with base layers. That helped. That was probably the thing that kind of helped gouache click in my brain, especially earlier on. That is so pretty. Thank you. I love Holbein gouache because of the opacity. It's a favorite of artist Alex Ross. I also have Schminke. I haven't tried Schminke or Holbein. Regular Holbein traditional gouache. I've tried their acrylic gouache. What gouache did you start with, or what would you recommend starting with? I would recommend starting with whatever artist grade gouache you can find, but just get a few colors of it. Start off with the primaries. You can build your collection from there, but start off with a few limited colors, limited palette, so you learn how to mix colors yourself, and you're not relying on a whole bunch of convenience colors. So you learn how to mix, and it's cheaper to only buy a few tubes. The nicer paints you'll have a little bit better of a time. I mean, buy whatever you can, whatever fits the budget. But avoid like buying the big old 60 packs of, the giant packs of like 60 colors, because most of them are just mixes anyway, so. What am I talking about? I'm coming from oils, if that makes a difference. Yeah, so me, I came from watercolors when I was learning gouache. So we'll probably have opposite issues. My issue was I struggled with mixing the paint thick enough. So that's why the base layer thing really helped me a lot, because watercolors, you're working with a lot of very dilute layers and building up. So that's how my brain thought about painting. For you, oils are opaque, so you might struggle. You're probably going to struggle with, like with oil paint, the color that you put down, that's the color you get. With gouache, the color that you put down is going to change once it dries. So you're going to have to learn how to calibrate what you see when it's wet to how you expect it to look when it's dry. So you'll learn how to mix your colors just a little bit darker or lighter than you expect them to be, and then go from there. Versus oil, you can just easily, well, I mean, I don't know from first-hand experience, but from what I understand, the oil, the color that you have is the color you get. You can't mix oils, can't you, with terps? Oils take too long to dry. Now you tell me I have to invest. Where can we buy your paintings? Yeah, I have some on my website. And so the paintings that are available are stuff that's not in the sketchbook. It's like I sell the stuff that are like Lucy's and stuff, but so if you're on my page and you see something that you might be interested in and it's like not in the sketchbook, I'd definitely be willing to let it go, get rid of it. Anything I like to keep my sketchbooks intact, so those aren't for sale, but anything else on my pages. With terps, you can't mix oils with terp. I don't know about terps, if that makes a difference. I think I said that. This ear is too light. Can you paint me too, please? Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm open to commissions. Every now and then I do like a hashtag where people can tag, and I'll pick some paintings from there, but other than that, I'm not sure. I never use any terps with oils. Terps? That's for cleaning, right? That's how you clean your brushes, or it's like a medium. Thank you. I'm not sure. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, I think terps is referring to turpentine. It's called Creative Chitter Chatter on Spotify. it dilutes the oil. Wait, what's called creative chitter chatter? Oh, my podcast. Or, well, your podcast. Not my podcast. Creative chitter chatter. And you're on Spotify? I'm going to be logging off the live soon. Will you be back next Tuesday? Yeah, I'll plan to be. Yeah. Unless something comes up, but yeah, I'll try to be back next Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out. You're not sure about what? You mean as a joke when you say yes? Yeah, I meant like, like if you commission me, I'll paint you. But just for no reason. Probably not, unless I do like the hashtag again. Sometimes I do a hashtag. Like a draw me JMR hashtag. But yeah, that's a very common question that people. I've used oils, and alcohol markers. You think that will help Annie with getting used to gouache color drawing because the alcohol markers are similar? Yeah. Actually, it's very similar. So alcohol markers, it does the same thing. Alcohol markers has a bit of a color shift. Like as the alcohol dries, the color shifts a little bit. Is it the same as gouache? Yeah, I think so. Not exactly the same, but any medium, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve to get understand all the nuances of that specific medium. But you have a good night. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Letter set, you can blend ones too. What's letter set? Oh, I do have notifications on. Yeah, have a good night. Bye everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. You can blend what? Letter set markers? What do you listen to? Is it chill hop? Yeah, this is chill hop. This song is called Cozy AF by Ames. Let me, if you, and I have the song playing. It's right under the reference, but I don't know if the chat is covering it up. How do you know when your piece is done and dusted? Kind of something like this when I'll just decide like, okay, when I get to a certain point and I don't feel like I'm making really much progress anymore, I'll just call it a wrap. A lot of the times I like to look at it the next day with fresh eyes, so I can make any further adjustments. But if when I get to a point where it seems like everything's reading decently well, and when it feels like I'm kind of just noodling around, then I'll just stop. Come back the next day, fresh eyes. Is that the one with the raccoon? Yeah, Chill Hop is the one with the raccoon. Yeah, it's a playlist on Spotify called Chill Hop, or YouTube. They also have a YouTube channel, but yeah, I usually put this on for streams because they don't bother you. They don't bother you about copyright, so it's nice. It's good. Keep it up. Thank you. You ever paint so long your eyes give out on you? Yeah. Yeah. For at home, like painting at home, it's way easier to get tired and distracted. But if I'm like at like a drawing from life session, it's a little easier to stay on task. For me, at least, because it's a time limit and everybody else around you is also painting too. So that helps me stay focused. But painting on stream helps me focus a lot too. Are these acrylics? No, this is gouache. This is gouache. I'm Japanese. Nice art. It's cool. Thank you. Thank you. What's it like? Early morning over there? I think you paint very clean. It feels me. My whole body would have been dirty. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really. Yeah, I guess I mean, my station is pretty set up neatly. I got this nice paper towel to keep my control the amount of water on my brush, so I'm not like flopping stuff all around. I'd rather paint outside all the time, but it'd be freezing in Michigan. Yeah, it was this past winter was pretty cold here in New England, in Rhode Island. It was pretty cold, but the nice weather will be here in it's right around the corner, so Yeah, I'm excited about that. So you're from Michigan? Did you guys get a lot of snow this year up in Michigan? You got the whole lake effect thing going on out there. Will you post this when it's completed? Yeah. I'm recording with my phone, so I'll have an Instagram video time lapse for you guys that I'll probably post in a couple days. But yeah, I have a painting, a video for it. Beautiful technique. Thank you. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I can't read that. What are you using to hold your phone above your art? I have a C-stand, so let me see. So it's like a phone holder right here, and it's connected to the C-stand. So the C-stand, it's just basically a tall rod, and it goes across like this. And you can hang stuff from it. So I have the phone. Phone right here. And this is the camera that I'm using to stream from. And then this right here is a webcam. And this is the webcam that's looking at the palette right here. And then this is the desk setup. Got my dirty water, all my brushes and stuff, monitor. That's how I can see you guys' comments over there. It's another monitor over there that I'm using that has the streaming program, Streamlabs. But yeah, the phone is just, it's a phone holder connected to a C-stand, and then 2 softbox lights. So pretty decent setup. How does your phone hold? How does your phone do so much storage? Do you transfer the video to a disk or something? My phone has 512 gigabits, or I don't know. I think I have. I don't know how many I have. I think it's 512 or 256. But once I record, I copy, I cut and paste everything and put it in the. I have a hard drive that I save everything to. Everything is so neat. Thank you. Where is the lighting source comes from? Is it more than one light? Yeah, I have 2 softboxes. So this is a desk. It's like a bar desk lamp, and then it's a softbox over here, and it's another softbox over here. So it gives a nice soft lighting. Like, you notice there's no hard shadows on the. It's not really any hard shadows on the painting. Everything's nice and evenly lit. So you can see how it's like not really any hard shadow. Was gouache always your main medium? I started with watercolor. Watercolor was when I started out with. Well, no, I started out with like just drawing Copic markers and stuff like that. But my main painting medium was watercolor. Then I tried out gouache and liked it. It's very hard to watch. It's very hard to watch a live in English when you can barely understand a word. Oh, sorry. So, yeah. I got. Sometimes I kind of blur my words together too, so that's probably not helpful. I can try to enunciate a little bit better, but when I'm kind of in default painting and not really thinking about it, I kind of default to not enunciating all my words. Where are you from? Or what language what's your native language? This is an extravagant setup. Yes, it's not bad. I slowly just kind of, it's like pieced together from over the years, I guess. Oh, you're from Haiti, nice. What's the national language in Haiti? Is it French? Also, how do you pick your colors? The blue and yellow tones are so pretty. Thank you. And how do I pick my colors? What am I actually doing? If so I'm mixing for value first, and then I look at kind of the color temperature of the surrounding area that I'm about to paint, and trying to put whatever I'm putting down, make it fit into the context of the area it's going to be applied to, if that makes sense. The value part is tricky with gouache because it looks darker when you first put it down, but then when you give it a chance to dry, it might change up on you. Creole, I have a friend at work who is Haitian. My native language is French. My native language is Creole, and French, but I can speak Spanish too. Yeah, I mean, give yourself some credit. You speak 3 languages. No, 4 languages. And I'm barely speaking English, so like I feel like being bilingual is like a superpower. It's crazy. Like, so when you're thinking, do you think in Creole? Like, do you not talk to yourself? Like, do you have like an inner dialogue, and is that inner dialogue in your head, is that in Creole? Do you do art full time? That's what I'm trying to get to by 2026. I have a part-time remote job to supplement art. It depends. I don't know. It's sometimes I kind of want more stability, so I'm thinking about getting a job at some point. But then I don't know if I'll still have the same amount of time. Sometimes I switch between languages. Oh, that switch between languages that you thinking? That's crazy. What determines what language that you thinking? Is it like if your brain is like tired and you're like your default is just to go? It's like your native language, like whatever language you learn first. Is that the one that you default to? And does it take like extra effort to think in another language? French, JMR is a genius. Nah. When I'm talking in different languages, where and how do you sell your art? Mostly through commissions and client work. I haven't really made an effort to try to sell a bunch of originals or advertise it. Yeah, it's mostly commissions and client work. And that kind of stuff is just people reaching out and inquiring. When I'm talking in different languages, yeah, that would make sense. If you're talking in a different language, are you like thinking in your head like what the translation is first, and then you translate it to that language, or you can just instantly think in that language? Like when I was more practicing with Spanish, like I would have to think of what I was trying to say in English first and then try to translate it. I never got to the point where I could think in Spanish. Don't you have a PhD? Yeah, it's sitting right there. But that's all it's good for at this point. English. Yeah, sometimes you gotta get people to repeat themselves to fully understand what they mean. Nah, you got this, bro. If you sold prints, I guarantee you'll be stable. A bunch of people will buy these. Sometimes people spam. They give you Easter eggs. What's good, cuzzo? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, see, genius. Nah. That that just means you know how to do research. Doesn't necessarily mean you're a genius or smart. It means you know a whole lot about a very narrow niche topic that like nobody cares about except a handful of people in the world. This is a mod. Oh, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I never know usernames and stuff. When I was learning German, I found the best way to fix the issue with translation was just to think of new words as synonyms instead of a translation. Think of it as synonyms. That's interesting. So you're not think of new words as synonyms. I was gonna ask something, but I forgot what I was gonna ask. You think of new words as synonyms. So you just think of like the gist of what you're trying to say, and then think the closest thing that would correspond to that in the language you're trying to speak. Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Japanese, it sounds so easier to learn. Fire, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good. How are you, Cuzzo? I'm pretty good. Can't complain. No complaints. Just chilling, painting. Where's Owen? Probably he lives like the next town over from me. It's not too far away. But yeah, I didn't see him today. We usually hang out on the weekends. If I thought of them as a translation, it was harder to recall. That synonyms thing is a good idea for real. Yeah, that is a good idea. I've never heard anybody explain it like that. I would literally try to translate. But I slacked in college. I slacked up on my Spanish. In high school, I got all the way up to Spanish 4, but then I slacked off in college. I should have took Spanish as like a minor or something. Okay, I'm in Atlanta. Nice. Yeah, we're up in Providence. We're both up in Providence. Cause it's almost like it's just another word for it. Don't look at it as completely the same language. I get what you mean. Your degree is in chemistry. If the U.S. wasn't a mess, I'd beg you to work with us. What do you do? What's your what is your field? I tried practicing gouache painting recently. I used glass as a reference. I tried a flat brush. It was a disaster. Yeah, anything new is gonna be a little bit of a learning curve to it. Okay, hit me up later. Love you, man. Yeah, man. You too. Hope see you around sometime. I don't know if I'll be in Atlanta at any point, but see you around. Are you gonna finish it all tonight? Yeah, probably. It's been 2 hours now, and it's only 9, so I'll probably go for like another half hour or so, and then wrap it up. It's getting to that point. It still needs a bit of work, but it's coming along. But yeah, I'll probably be able to finish it today. Yeah, thinking of it as separate and foreign from what I already know just makes this roadblock in my mind. I feel like once you get to a certain level of proficiency with a new language, you might just be able to think in that language without having to translate it first in your head. At least that's my theory. I haven't gotten to that point. But that synonym tip probably helps out a lot with that. Looking forward to your next. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. And I'll catch you later. Do you ever not bonsoir. See you later. You ever did any collaboration art? Not really. I tend to just tend to just kind of do my own thing, and unless it's like a commission or something. Not that I would be against it. Yeah, synonyms work. I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but I am. It's leveled up my retention. I work in the environmental field. We have many chemists. Atmospheric chemistry is super helpful, but it all works. Yeah, my chemistry was in like material science, like more. Like I worked a lot with like iron pyrite, fool's gold, trying to make like nano structures out of it. So it's like more inorganic chemistry. Probably a little bit of geology in there. Is that oil? No, this is gouache. How do you like environmental art? I mean, environmental field. Do you do like field testing and stuff? Going out on location? I feel like that might be kind of fun. Pyrite, I used to love that stuff. Had a huge geology phase. Yeah, I was making like nanoscale cubes out of it. So you could only, it would look like a powder, but if you look at it with a microscope, like a transmission electron microscope, it would have a bunch of different nanostructures and stuff. It was cool. Do you ever try to learn new languages? I need to. I haven't, but I haven't recently, but I feel like it's definitely a great skill to have. I'll be looking for the finished painting later on. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. I love it until January 21st. If you know, you know. What does it have to do with like funding? Like governmental funding and stuff? Yeah. I had a geo phase too. Amazing. What was there an application for the cubes, or were they just an interesting challenge? The application was for like to be used as a light absorbing material in solar cells, because pyrite has like absorption properties that correspond like with the spectrum of light that reaches Earth from the sun. It absorbs like the most intense wavelengths that come from the sun. But it's a lot of other issues with pyrite that make it kind of hard to be able to harness the properties that make it attractive for that application. The nanostructures were theoretically supposed to be able to help alleviate some of those issues, but it hasn't been the case. Or at least since I've been there. I haven't kept up with the field, so I don't know what the progress is these days. But like that super dark paint Vanna Black? Kinda. I mean, so like, yeah, that stuff is cool. But yeah, it absorbs. Yeah, anything black. If you see something black, it means it's absorbing pretty much most of visible light. That is so amazing. I feel like I came in late, but this was something you studied when in school. The pirate stuff. Yeah, the pirate stuff was something I studied in school. Like I can. Let's see. See if I have my paper. If you want to see some nerdy paper stuff. Yeah, so let's see if I can share. Yeah, so this is this is the pyrite stuff. Yeah, science papers. I can't believe I wrote all this, man. It's annoying. But yeah, it's basically I was using different like sulfur, like different sulfur compounds. In every activity, you could control like the type of iron sulfide that you got. I don't know. So you can get like different hexagon shapes, cubes and stuff. This one was cool. It was like making like little cages with like iron cubes on top of with like cobalt on the edges of them. And this is like nano. If you know like the size, nanoscale, that's like a billionth the size of the width of a hair. So like you can't see this at all unless you have a TEM microscope. But yeah, these are just papers from grad school. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. If I'm expressing emotions many times, that will surface in my native language. While you are artist energy. Nah, guys. I said genius, I meant it. Thank you, but no. I'm taking organic chemistry right now. It's super tough, but I'm taking it for a nutrition and food science degree. Yeah, organic, that was my favorite class in undergrad, organic chemistry. Yeah, that was for some that it just clicked for me. It was yeah, organic chemistry, for that it helps if you because a lot of people go into organic chemistry just trying to memorize everything, but it actually helps if you think about like the fundamentals, like electron pushing and stuff like that, where you can actually reason out what's going to happen rather than just trying to memorize a bunch of equations. Cause yeah, that was I liked organic chemistry. Were you painting at the time you were doing it? Yeah, yep. It was a way to relax after working in the lab. It was fun. It's a different way of thinking. And it was nice just to create something that you can actually like physically see, that you don't need like a big microscope to be able to see it. Yeah, my degree is in chemistry though. You're very well versed, thank you. Maybe I'll figure out some way to incorporate it into what I'm doing. I just don't really have a desire to go back into a lab setting with like chemicals and stuff. But the topics were really interesting. Yeah, my palette is just completely mud. But I actually like mixing from. It makes it easy to. I like mixing from that because I just add colors to tint the mud in the direction that I want it to go, and then apply it. I've seen some artists use like chemical reactions in their artwork. Could be fun to try. It depends what it is. And I don't have access to a fume hood anymore, so you definitely don't just want to. Well, it depends what chemical it is, but everything in grad school I was working with was very toxic. I wish I could mix oils like that. Yeah, I think you probably have a worse time trying to do the same thing with oils. I don't know. Gouache is since gouache dries so quickly, if you put something down that you don't like, you can layer on top of it within minutes, you know. Any kind of oil. I think oil you have a little bit of, at a certain point, you have to wait for it to dry to keep building up layers, which takes a lot longer, but. I'm jealous of chemists and finance people. There's always an application for both. I'm jealous of finance people. have a lot of money. If I make that mud with oils, then I just wasted a bunch of paint. Yeah, this is like, it's not even a lot of paint. This is like, it's a really thin layer. So it's barely, even though it's opaque on the page, it's really not, in the grand scheme of things, not really a lot of paint actually in the palette or on the page. But so even though like a little bit of gouache does go a long way. Oils are scary. Although I feel like as an artist I have to tap into my chemist. If you ever want to talk about work, hit me up. Good pay and good benefits. Yeah, that's so. You if you got the benefits is the thing you gotta pay for yourself when you're. Like everything's trade-offs and stuff. What that environmental stuff sounds kind of cool though. I might actually hit you up about that just to learn a little bit more. What paper do you use? When I paint, I usually work with acrylics, but always works the paper. I imagine gouache has the same problem. Yeah, this is Strathmore Tan Mixed Media. So it's 300 GSM, so it's a pretty thick paper. It does work like a little bit, but having these clips down helps it to dry down pretty flat. So oils are scary, jealous. For that work, that's the environmental stuff. Where's it based in? Where are you located? Oils are very forgiving. They just take forever to dry and are not reactivated later if you want to blend, but you can paint over it with no problem. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, like covering it is probably no issue at all. You know, versus gouache, when I'm blend, like once gouache builds up to a certain amount of paint on a page, when you're continuing to layer on top of it, you have to be careful not to either scrub too hard or use too much water, because it will start to pick up the paint that's already on the page. That's why I want to try gouache, because the oil time just gets tiring. Usually you can work on multiple pieces if you're waiting for something to dry. Yeah, I would imagine just have multiple going at once, so that when you're waiting, you can just hop between them. I see people paint in sketchbooks with like oil paint. And I wonder, like, yeah, you definitely can't like close the page while it's still wet. Gouache is amazing if you can get past the warping. You can paint on anything. Yeah, it depends what it is. If the warping bothers you too much, then if you tape the paint, if you tape it or clip it to a hard surface, then that helps it to. It's still gonna warp, but it will help it to dry down flatter than it would otherwise. Oh, you're in Nevada. Nice. How do you like it out there? Are you near like a major city? What's out in Nevada? Vegas? Reno? Hola, hey, how's it going? What's up? What's up? I'm getting to the point where it's not done, but I feel like I need to look at it with fresh eyes soon. Oil in the sketchbook, you're not closing it for 5 to 10 business days. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so used to my paint layers drying in minutes. so I can just quickly keep layering stuff. But I think with oil, I would probably have to be more strategic about putting colors down versus just the way I like to paint, just putting stuff down and then adjusting on the fly. How long have you've been painting for 4 hours? Now it says it's been 2 hours and 26 minutes, 27 minutes. 2 hours 27 minutes. Not bad. Oh, I didn't put the necklace in, and I didn't refine the eye shape. There's some stuff I can keep doing. Yeah. When I'm streaming, I tend to avoid like any precise areas that would have to like, cause I'll have to lean in. But I guess my head's not blocking it. All right, so I can lean in this much without my head blocking the camera. Hola from Chile. Hey, how's it going? Chile. Where do you prefer to find your references? Pinterest, Upsplash, Pexels. If it's landscape painting, then just painting outside from life is always fun. Have you tried landscapes? Oh, yeah. I do landscapes like plein air painting, so painting it landscapes like in person, and that is really fun, and I'm definitely gonna be doing it now that the weather is getting nice outside. I'm a fair weather plein air painter. I tried to be extreme in painting in winter is under freezing temperatures, but my paint froze on the palette and on the page, and it was just not fun. But yeah, landscapes are fun. I'm on my 5th plein air sketchbook. Dang, it's good. I buy it. Under freezing, I think I'd freeze before the paint. Yeah, I had on. I actually the only thing for. So I had on like 3 jackets and then like a snow jumpsuit. So I didn't feel anything, but except my hands. My hands were. I couldn't wear my thick gloves to be. Because I wouldn't have had control of the brush, so that was kind of the limiting factor was my hands. But everything else, I didn't feel it at all. It was actually kind of fun. It was just hard to work because the paint was frozen. Like I would mix it on a palette, and like literally within like 30 seconds, like ice chunks would start to form on a palette, and then like within a minute and a half, it would just be just ice. I read that you can put like ethanol, like alcohol or vodka or something in your water, and that will because it lowers the freezing point, so it makes it, but I didn't try it. Is this gouache? Yeah, it's gouache. Yep, it's gouache. All right, I'm about to go, bro. It's been nice. Everybody have a good night. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. It was fun. I'll make a shot next time. But have a good one. Have a good night. You use water too? Yeah, I have water. My water bucket's right there. You can see the 2 dirty wells. These are, and I have 1 well for clean water. Or you just mix the colors. Do I use water or just mix the color? Yeah, I use water to mix the colors. And what pad am I using? This is a Strathmore Tone Tan Mix Media pad. It's early in the morning in India, so good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you have a good day. I'll be there next time for that shot too. I'm gonna cheat and warm up before I get on stream so that it looks like I made it on my first shot. Ben says hi. Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Love your work, man. Thank you. Thanks. That will be some reference books to learn portraits. It's difficult to paint and talk. It depends what I'm doing. If I'm doing anything that's like, I need to have like precision. Like if I'm trying to do the eyelashes, something where I need really precise control, then like my brain I have to kind of stop talking and think of, yeah, I have to kind of focus a little bit more. But in general, not really. It depends. I mean, sometimes I like freeze up with what I was trying to say. Like I might forget, like temporarily blank out on what I was talking about. But in general, it's not too bad. And the way it is, I just look at the chat when I'm going to mix some colors on the palette. So it's like, it's a natural break point to look up and see the chat and see what people are saying. How many years do you paint always with gouache? I've been painting with gouache since about 7 years now. About 7 years. I agree. I can barely look up when I paint. Just thinking about how many years he has painted got the reflex memory while painting. Yeah, it depends. Like, so say if I was painting something different, like something that I'm not super familiar with. So like portrait, I paint portraits a lot. But say I was painting either with a new medium or something where I have to focus a lot more, then it'll probably be harder to paint and talk. But something like this, since I've done it a lot, a lot of it is being done in the background, so I don't have to really think about what I'm doing as intently as like a lot of the decisions. I'm kind of like just on autopilot, kind of, or at least it's not in the forefront of in my mind of what I'm doing. So it leaves more bandwidth to like think of answers to questions and stuff. But if I was trying to do a more thought-intensive task, then it'll probably be hard to do that and talk at the same time. Do you have any paintings of cars in your sketchbooks? Yeah, I've been painting. No paintings, but I've been like sketching cars, like just looking out the window and sketching cars in the parking lot downstairs. They're okay. This is like a little Jeep. Yeah, I've been trying to practice cars, but most of the perspectives are from the top because I'm like looking down on them from I live like upstairs, so I'm looking down on the parking lot from the window. But yeah, it's fun just trying to get practice drawing like vehicles and stuff. I have one more page, but I can't find it right now. But yeah, I've been just trying to do more observational, just drawing whatever's around. And that's fun. I'm late? Yeah. Yeah, I started around 7-ish. But the live stream, I mean, it's gonna be it saves I'll save it and post it to Instagram. Like I'll have a time lapse of it and then I'll post that, like the replay, like the live replay. I'll post it on Instagram. It will be up there. Sometimes Instagram it gets taken down because of the music, or it'll just get muted. But it'll be up on YouTube too. So YouTube usually there's no issues on YouTube. So it's it'll be available. Now I'm here for a couple more minutes. How you decided to use blue in some places, and you could use the other colors. Why blue? So I don't know if you can see in the reference, but it's like a very faint hint of like some bounce light coming from the white wall behind her, and when that hits the skin, it's not really blue. It's like the hint of a cooler color, but if I see even a hint of a color, I kind of what's the word? Accentuate it a little bit more than what I'm seeing, just because I like it. I mean, I could have went with another color. I wanted a cool color though. Gotta run now. Time to go to work. See you next time. See ya. Thanks for hanging out, and yeah. I was gonna say have a good night, but have fun at work. Yeah. Have a good day at work. Any white highlights on the braids? So difficulty on Photoshop. Yeah, for the braids, I'm probably not gonna go as light as a white. White is probably gonna be too overpowering. But I'll do like a really faint gray, but with a little bit of white in it, it's gonna stand out against that darker color. Like this gray that I'm mixing up, that should be enough to stand out. That might be too light. We'll see. I'm just gonna indicate some of the texture, but I'm not gonna explicitly draw every single braid. So difficult on Photoshop. White highlights. Looks great, thank you. Thank you. It might be too. I'll see. I might tone those back a little bit, but leave it for now. That's beautiful. Thank you. Getting to the point where I might wrap it up soon. Yeah, anytime doing anything precise. Super dope. Thank you. Thanks for the answer. I always have questions about how to decide the dark colors and the light colors. Where are you from? I'm from New Jersey. I'm currently in Providence, Rhode Island. I always have questions about how to decide the dark colors and the light colors. Yeah, I think more about the value than the like specific exact color that I'm using. The value and the temperature relative to the local area. It's kind of what I think about. I think I'll put the eyelashes on and I'll call it a day. Providence looks like a cool city. I've never been to the East Coast. Yeah, it's it's like a city, but it's like a smaller city. It's a tiny town, but it's nice. It's a cool art scene. It's Rizzy and Brown are here. It's close to, like, it's a quick train ride up to Boston if you wanted a bigger city. But yeah, I like it. I like the East Coast. You've never been to the East Coast. Where are you from? Shipping to Denmark? Yeah, I've shipped commissions to Germany, Australia. I've shipped to Europe before. UK. I think somebody from the Netherlands once. I don't think I had anybody from Denmark before. Alright, bro. I made the lashes a little bit thicker than they appear. But I'll just leave them. Reminds me of the GTA illustrations. Yeah, that was a cool art style. Sorry, my bad English. I am from Brazil. Do you give any gouache painting classes? Yeah, I have some online courses. I have an online class through 21 Draw. I saw a link in my bio if you were interested. I've never been to. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, Alameda specifically. I've been out. I never been to Alameda. When I was out, I've been to like Hayward before. In San Francisco. But that was a cool area. I liked it. Was it Half Moon Bay? That was pretty cool. Saw some whales. He might try it in the nearest future. That's cool. Online, yeah, it's an online class. It's a link in my bio. Denmark's pretty. I gotta do like a tour of across the Atlantic Ocean. I haven't crossed the Atlantic Ocean yet. So nowhere in Europe that I've actually had the chance to visit yet. Thanks, no problem, no problem. Furthest east I've been is Michigan, so you made it to the Midwest. Michigan, is that no? That Michigan's not the Midwest, is it? Yeah, I think it is considered Midwest. I don't know. Nice. I don't think I've ever been to Michigan. Yeah. Can do some highlights for the eyes. Yeah, it's the Midwest, just Eastern time zone. Michigan is Eastern? It's not Central? I would have thought. I gotta look on the map. I would have thought Michigan would be Central time zone. How many hours one paint like this? This was 2 hours and 55 minutes. That's typically about how long it takes. I mean, it's some details. I didn't do the earrings or the necklace. But I'm probably gonna come back tomorrow and look at it with fresh eyes and make any tweaks and minor adjustments. But yeah, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting kind of tired. Midwest, just Eastern. I could definitely be wrong. Man, I'm not sure. Cause I know. So I used to live in Tennessee. So that was Central Time Zone, and I think Michigan. I think Michigan is above Tennessee. How long does it usually take to paint full pieces like this? Looks beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it's usually around this range, like 2 to 3 hour range. For just like something like this is just looking at it. It takes long. It takes a lot longer if it's either imaginative or like really involved details and stuff. But yeah, this is oh yeah, I keep looking to do the necklace and I get distracted by other stuff. So I like to put down the shadow first and then paint on top of it. Oh wow, says Michigan has been Eastern Time Zone since 1931. Nice. I gotta see where Michigan is on the map. Michigan is. Oh, I see. Cause Tennessee, half of Tennessee is central, and then the other half is eastern. And I was in the necklace. Then you can paint on top of it with the opaque light color, and then the shadow. You won't have to paint the shadow around the necklace. It's this app on I don't know if it's on. It's this app called it's a game, like a geography game. It's called Cetera, and I've been playing that to get better at geometry. Not geometry, geography. Snapping. Appreciate that, man. How's it going? And you see how you don't have to paint like the shadow, putting the shadow down first. Well, I don't know if you can even see that. The blocking you did the blocking you did is so fluid. It gives such an effortless effect. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Jordan. Have you ever messed up a painting this far along beyond repair? Technically, it's not really beyond repair because if it's like absolute worst case scenario, you can just like rub it all off. But you can also just keep layering until you get something that you like. Gouache dries fast enough, and at no point did I really use super opaque. I mean, the paint is kind of opaque, but I didn't really go to full opacity at any point yet, so I could just keep layering if I wanted to. But there's been times when I painted something that I just don't like, and I don't want to try to fix it, so I might paint over it with acrylic gouache, and then just do an acrylic gouache painting on top of it. But that's pretty rare. I usually just let it be and embrace the ugly painting. What's your favorite thing to draw? Besides people, I would say I like drawing boops, birds, plein air landscapes from life, and figure drawing. Nice to meet you. The painting is looking good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I remember when you said that during. I remember when you said that during a class at USI. USI. What's USI? Are oils more forgiving than gouache? I love that you can wipe off gouache, but I notice the paper starts to get feathered. Yeah, it's been rare when I tried to wipe off gouache if it's like completely. But yeah, it would be limited to how rugged the paper is. I would imagine something like watercolor paper, like fully cotton watercolor paper, will be able to withstand more rubbing out compared to like a not as tough of a paper. But yeah, I usually just try to fix it with layers rather than rubbing stuff out. And like, you can also do. It's a tricky technique, but you can say you see how this painting has like all these blocky brush strokes. You can actually get rid of them by doing like if I went over this with like a soft brush with just water, you can like blend out all the hard edges. Did you have an exhibition through Evansville African American Museum last summer, or am I confusing you with something else? Yeah, I think it's somewhere. It might be somebody else. Yeah, it wasn't me. That wasn't me. Bro, I might have. Yeah, I don't think that was. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, oils. Are oils more forgiving than gouache? I think oils you can indefinitely just keep. Can indefinitely keep. Yeah, do you want to see? I can show you. So I actually have a YouTube video where I do it, but I have the painting too. Yeah, I found it. Yeah, this painting right here. So like, it's possible to get like soft blended out. You can let me focus it. Like this started off with all those blocky shapes, but I went in with a soft brush with just water, and went over it. Like you see how it's a lot more hard edges, but with this one, go over it with the soft wet brush, and then as it's wet, you can drop in like colors, and they will all feather out softly and not have like a lot of hard edges. But I don't really do that too often anymore because I like the blocky look a little bit more. But it's possible for sure. It's really it's really scary though, because when you put all the water down, it like everything kind of it's kind of scary. Like you gotta really trust the process. But yeah, I think that might be it for me for today. Kind of tired. I like it. I'll probably touch it up a little bit more tomorrow off stream, but for now, I think that was kind of cool. Yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. It was fun. It's always nice hanging out, chilling, talking with you guys. I'll probably be back next Tuesday, 7 o'clock again. Maybe another time before then, but yeah, for now. Where do you upload the full painting? Yeah, I'm gonna post it on my Instagram in a couple days. I'll make like I'll make a time lapse, and I'll also post a replay of this live stream, so it'll be up there. But yeah, thanks guys, thanks for hanging out, and see you next time. Bye.